Hello wonderful person, this is Philip, and in this video I'm going to talk about the benefits of loving kindness meditation that I have personally experienced. Loving kindness meditation has taken away pain for me, physical pain and also emotional pain. When it comes to this, I should say that while I normally have a more elaborate phrasing that I go through, usually mentally, when it comes to loving kindness meditation, in times of extreme pain, when I'm hurting physically or emotionally very badly, sometimes I find it beneficial to simply keep repeating, and usually I do this just mentally, repeating the phrase, "May all beings be happy and well." And I sometimes do that over and over. May all beings be happy and well. May all beings be happy and well. May all beings be happy and well. So that's sort of the emergency or extreme method of loving kindness meditation that I have practiced. And it has helped me with emotional pain and, as I mentioned, also with physical pain, which was very surprising to me at the time. I was a fairly new meditator and I just found it fascinating how simply doing loving kindness meditation, and I was doing a more elaborate version of it. I did a video on that if you want to check it out. But simply doing loving kindness meditation would completely take away the severe sore throat pain that I was having. As I mentioned in a previous video, that effect was not permanent, but some of it was permanent. In other words, after that session, the pain was weakened, even though it didn't completely disappear. During the meditation, it completely disappeared. Afterwards, there was still a portion of the pain remaining. So that was one effect that I've personally observed. Another one was a relationship at work. I used to teach at different colleges and universities, and at one of my favorite campuses, one time I just got off on the wrong foot with a dean. Now, that dean technically was not my boss, but as you can imagine, when you teach at a college, the dean is sort of your boss for some practical purposes. So it wasn't a very pleasant situation, and I was sort of worried after the first day that I had really interacted with her. I was sitting at home thinking, I don't like her at all, and apparently she doesn't like me. What to do. And I remembered that loving kindness is supposed to be a solution for problems like this. So I did some formal loving kindness meditation, which I usually do, but I also, and meditation does not just mean sitting there, I also started genuinely trying to do everything I could to make that person happy. So instead of coming up with a scheme, how can I make her uncomfortable, or how can I try to get her to quit, or how can I take revenge, or how can I see if I can outmaneuver her and outsmart her, stuff like that. Instead of coming up with any of those plans or ideas, I simply thought to myself, and I did this for several days, whenever I went to work, but also outside of work, I kept thinking, what can I do to make her as happy as possible? And I did that. It wasn't really, in my case, because I'm generally a low-key person, I didn't do any huge things. I didn't buy her any gifts or anything like that. This might have seemed fake or disingenuous coming from me. It wouldn't have truly represented my personality or the relationship that I wanted to have with her. So instead, I just, at work, I always thought about what she ultimately wanted out of each situation and tried to make her happy. Now, of course, I also try to make everyone else happy, including myself. So I wouldn't just do stupid things saying, okay, I really hate this and I think it's the wrong thing to do, but I'll do it because she's asking me to do it. That's not how it was. I thought about, how can I make everyone as happy as possible, and especially her? Well, after about 2 or 3 weeks of that, our relationship had dramatically changed. It wasn't one particular moment where it was like, bam, suddenly everything was perfect. But after a couple of weeks, I noticed that we actually had a fairly good relationship. And a few more weeks later, she literally basically called me her favorite person there. So we had developed a very useful and productive working relationship. We didn't become sort of friends in real life. We didn't hang out outside of the campus ever. But for the rest of my time at that campus, which was, I believe, another 2 or 3 years after that, I was happy there, and so was she, with my performance, with my actions. And there wasn't really any kind of problem like it would have seemed on the first day or the first couple of days when we had the less than perfect interactions. So, in summary, this particular effect that I've noticed was just making life better for the people involved by improving relationships and the attitude that people have toward each other. Well, another effect of loving kindness meditation that I have personally noticed is the effect on the nature of my dreams that loving kindness meditation has. Generally, when I have a lot of negative input on any given day, then I will tend to have nightmares. Maybe nightmares is a little bit of an exaggeration, just bad dreams, at the very least dreams that are not very pleasant as a result of that. I think that's normal for any human being. We dream, and our dreams are fed by what we experience. Now, whenever I practice loving kindness meditation, and I do this more and more at night, falling asleep, when I know that I just had some less than optimal input into my life, whenever I do that, I have pleasant dreams as a result, if I have dreams at all. So I sleep well, I wake up in a good mood, and the dreams that I remember are generally pleasant. Now, I'm not saying that dreams are necessarily useful or meaningful in and of themselves, and I'm not saying that they're not. But all I'm saying is, subjectively, my dreams feel much more pleasant when I fall asleep while meditating on loving kindness. So those are some of the effects of loving kindness meditation that I have noticed. Another effect that I also mentioned in a different video, which is a video on insight meditation, was that it simply provided a very good foundation for each insight meditation session. In the beginning, every time before I sat down to do insight meditation, I would sit and do about 10 to 15 minutes of loving kindness meditation. Sometimes probably just 5 minutes. I didn't really use a stopwatch or a timer for that. But that really helped me just remain consistent and have a bearable insight meditation session, and just continue with the experience and the insight meditation project as a whole that I was doing at that time. There are many other benefits of loving kindness meditation, but I'm not going to go through them in this video because this was really just supposed to be my own personal experience, what I have experienced, not what other people have told me or what teachers have told me, but the effects of loving kindness meditation that I have been able to clearly see in my own life. I hope you find this information useful or entertaining. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful day.